Hi, hello students. Welcome back to our channel. This is Bhaskar Bora. We are discussing third chapter polynomials from 10th class mathematics. As in the part of this chapter, in our previous video, we have been discussed about the graphical representation of linear, quadratic and cubic polynomials and also the geometrical meaning of its zeros. And today in this video, we are going to discuss the example problems which are given before exercise 3.2. So let us see the first example. It is given as, look at the graphs in the figures given below. Each is the graph of y equals to p of x, where p of x is polynomial. In each of the graphs, find the number of zeros of p of x in the given range of x. So here in this problem, we were given by some graphs of various polynomials. And we need to find the number of zeros of those polynomial in the given range. So let us first observe the graph 1. So if we observe this graph is intersecting x-axis at only one point. And we know that the x coordinates of the intersecting point of the graphs and the x-axis are the zeros of the given polynomial. So here if we observe this graph is intersecting x-axis at only one point. So as it intersecting the x-axis at only one point, it must have only one zero. So hence we can say the number of zeros of this graph 1. Now let us see the second graph. How many zeros does this graph have? To tell the number of zeros of this graph, first we need to identify the number of intersecting points of this graph and x-axis. So look at the graph and find out the number of points where the graph and x-axis are intersecting. So by observing the graph, we can say the graph of this polynomial is intersecting x-axis at two different points. So as this graph intersecting x-axis at two distinct points, so we can say the number of zeros of this graph is 2. Now let us see the third one. Observe this graph and observe the number of intersecting points of this graph and x-axis. At how many distinct points does this graph is intersecting x-axis? Very good. This curve is intersecting x-axis at three distinct points. So hence we can say the number of zeros of this graph is 3. And coming to the fifth one, if we observe the graph of the fifth problem, here this graph is intersecting x-axis at only one point. Hence we can say the number of zeros of this graph is also 1. Now the last graph in the first problem. So if we observe this graph, here this curve is intersecting the x-axis at 4 distinct points. At how many points does it intersecting the x-axis? At 4 distinct points. So the number of zeros of this graph is 4. So like this, by simply observing the intersecting points of x-axis and the graph of the given polynomial, we can say the number of zeros of the given polynomial. Now let us discuss the second example. Example 2. Find the number of zeros of the given polynomials and also find their values. So here in this problem, we were given by some polynomials and we need to find the number of zeros of these polynomials and also their values. So let us see first one. The first polynomial is given as p of x equals to 2x plus 1. Now observe this polynomial. By observing this polynomial, it is clear that the degree of this polynomial is 1. So it is a linear polynomial in one variable. And we know that a linear polynomial in one variable can have at most one zero. So the number of zeros of this polynomial is 1. And now we need to find the value of that zero also. So what is the zero of this linear polynomial? To find the zero of this linear polynomial, we need to find the value of the variable that is presented in the polynomial such that when that value is substituted in the polynomial, it should make the total polynomial value is 0. So 0 of the polynomial is nothing but it is the real number, and when it is substituted in the given polynomial in the place of variable, it makes the total polynomial value as 0. So the value of the variable which makes the total polynomial value as 0 is known as the zero of that polynomial. So to find the zero of this polynomial, let us equate the value of this polynomial value as 0. That means p of x equals to 0. So here p of x is given as 2x plus 1. So we get 2x plus 1 equals to 0. And by transposing plus 1 to right hand side, we get 2x equals to 0 minus 1. And we get, on simplifying this, we get x equals to minus 1 by 2. So x equals to minus 1 by 2. This minus 1 by 2 is the zero of the given polynomial 2x plus 1. That means when minus 1 by 2 is substituted in the place of x, then the total polynomial value will become 0. So minus 1 by 2 is the zero of the given polynomial. So to find the zeros of the given polynomial, just we need to take the polynomial value as 0 and then we need to solve for x value. That x value is the zero of the given polynomial. Now let us see the second problem. Q of y equals to y square minus 1. So here we have a polynomial in variable y, and this is the quadratic polynomial since its degree is 2. And we know that a quadratic polynomial, how many zeros can a quadratic polynomial have at most? As we know that a quadratic polynomial can have 2 zeros at most. So this polynomial may have 2 zeros at most. So let us find out the zeros of this polynomial. For that we need to take this polynomial value as 0. So let us take q of y equals to 0. Q of y is nothing but it is given as y square minus 1. Y square minus 1 equals to 0. And by transposing minus 1 to right hand side, we get y square equals to 1. And next by transposing square to right hand side, we get y equals to square root of 1. And the square root of 1 value will be either plus 1 or minus 1. So here we can take y equals to 1 or y equals to minus 1. So 1 and minus 1 are the two zeros of the given quadratic polynomial q of y equals to y square minus 1. Now similarly, let us see the third problem. It is given as r of z equals to z cube. So clearly it is a cubic polynomial. Why? Since its degree is 3, so it is a cubic polynomial. And we know that the number of zeros of a cubic polynomial can have at most is 3. So it has at most 3 zeros. So let us find out these zeros. R of z equals to, we have to take this value as 0. So R of z equals to 0. That means z cube equals to 0. Z cube value equals to 0 means z equals to third root of 0. By transposing cube to the right hand side, we get z equals to third root of 0. Third root of 0 is 0. So we get z equals to 0. So here 0 is the zero of the given polynomial, that is r of z equals to z cube. So like this, to find the zeros of a given polynomial, first we need to take the polynomial value as 0 and then we need to solve for the variable so that we get the required zeros of that polynomial. So like this we have some problems in exercise 3.2. Let us see one of the problem from the second bit of exercise 3.2. So I am going to do the second problem from second bit. It is given as p of x equals to x square plus 5x plus 6, and we need to find the zeros of this quadratic polynomial. So since it is a quadratic polynomial, it can have at most two zeros. So let us find out the zeros of this polynomial. So to find the zeros of this polynomial, first what we have to do? We have to equate this polynomial value with 0. So let us take this polynomial value as 0. X square plus 5x plus 6 equals to 0. To solve this quadratic polynomial, we need to factorize this quadratic polynomial. In earlier video we have discussed how to factorize the quadratic polynomial. For that, we need to split the middle term as the sum of another two terms such that the product of those two terms must be equal to the x square term and constant term. So let us do some rough work to split the middle term of this quadratic equation. So for that, first we need to take the product of x square coefficient and constant. Here x square coefficient is 1 and the constant term is 6. So the product of these two terms equals to 6. So now we need to take the factors of this 6 such that the sum of these factors will also be equal to the x coefficient. So here what is the x coefficient? It is 5. So the x coefficient is 5 and the product of x square coefficient and constant is 6. Now we need to find a pair of factors for 6 such that the sum of those two factors should be equals to 5, which is x coefficient. Now tell me which pair of factors we need to consider here for 6. Very good, 2 and 3. So if we take 2 and 3, the product of these two will be equals to 6 and the sum of these two will be equals to 5, which is x coefficient, which is equals to x coefficient. If we take the pair 2 and 3, we can split the middle term using these two factors. So let us do that one. X square plus 5x plus 6 equals to 0. Now by splitting the middle term, we get x square plus 2x plus 3x plus 6. Now in the first two terms, we have x as common. So by using distributive property, we can take x as common out. So by taking x as common out, we get in bracket x plus 2. Now in the last two terms, that is in third term and fourth term, we have 3 as common. So by taking 3 as common out, again we get in bracket x plus 2. And observing this equation, here we can also get x plus 2 as common. So by taking x plus 2 as common out, we get x plus 3 in bracket, which equals to 0. So what we get, x plus 2 into x plus 3 equals to 0. So x plus 2 and x plus 3 are the factors of the given polynomial x square plus 5x plus 6. So now as we get the product of x plus 2 and x plus 3 is 0, hence either x plus 2 will be equals to 0 or x plus 3 will be equals to 0. So by taking x plus 2 equals to 0, we get x equals to minus 2. And if we take x plus 3 equals to 0, we get x equals to minus 3. So therefore minus 2 and minus 3 are the required zeros of the given polynomial, that is x square plus 5x plus 6. Now let us see the fourth problem from the exercise 3.2. The fourth problem is given as where 1 by 4 and minus 1 are the zeros of the polynomial p of x equals to 4x square plus 3x minus 1. This question means why we have to say 1 by 4 and minus 1 are the zeros of the given polynomial. This means he is asking that whether 1 by 4 and minus 1 are the zeros of the given polynomial or not. To say this, first we have to know the concept of the zeros of the polynomial, and we all know very well that zeros of a polynomial is nothing but it is the value of the variable that is presented in the polynomial, and when this value is substituted in the polynomial, it makes the total polynomial value as 0. So that means the given values 1 by 4 and minus 1, if we substitute them in the place of the variable x, if they makes the polynomial value as 0, then we can say they are the zeros of the polynomial. So To answer this, first we need to substitute 1 by 4 in the place of x, and we need to verify whether we are getting the polynomial value as 0 or not by substituting 1 by 4 in the place of x. So let us verify it by substituting 1 by 4 in the place of x in the given polynomial. So what is the given polynomial? We have p of x equals to 4x square plus 3x minus 1. So let us substitute x equals to 1 by 4 in this polynomial. So what we get? 4 into 1 by 4 whole square plus 3 into 1 by 4 minus 1. So by doing 1 by 4 square we get 4 into 1 by 16 plus 3 into 1 by 4 minus 1. Here we can cancel 4 and 16 in 4 table. So by cancelling 4 1s are 4, 4 4s are 16 we get. So by cancelling we get 1 by 4 and the next term plus 3 into 1 by 4 can be written as 3 by 4 and minus 1. Now here by observing the denominators we get the LCM as 4, and by taking 4 as the denominator we get the numerators 1 plus 3 and minus 4, and by simplifying this we get 4 minus 4 by 4 which equals to 0 by 4 which equals to 0. So what is the polynomial value that we get when substituted 1 by 4 in the place of x? 0. That means the value 1 by 4 is making the total given polynomial value as 0 when it is substituted in the place of x. So hence can we say 1 by 4 is the 0 of the given polynomial? Yes. So 1 by 4 is the 0 of the given polynomial. Similarly we can verify for minus 1 also. So do this on your own by substituting minus 1 in the place of x and verify whether we get the polynomial value as 0 or not. And if it is 0 we can say minus 1 is also the 0 of the given polynomial. Otherwise it is not. So it is all enough for today, and let us meet in our next video. So till then, bye, thank you.